Hello and welcome to the Propelling Business Excellence podcast. I am your host, Vibha Chawla, and I'm very excited today because I have Carl Schanstra from Automation System joined us. So thank you very much, Carl. He is the Chief Disruption Officer
Sure, that's my favorite way to go.
of Automation System. So thank you very much again, Carl, for joining us. Could you kick us off with your background and what does your company do?
Sure, automation systems is kind of where I was bred to take over for this a family business and run it. And we do contract part enhancements. So we take our customers, other manufacturer, we take their parts and we make them better by doing secondary operations on them, like assembly, forming, tapping, cutting, bending, stuff like that. And then we send them back. We are doing about 17 million part enhancements every month. And so we are in the mid to high volume with typical customers like automotive manufacturers, the tier ones and tier twos for those guys, appliance manufacturers, and other larger scale OEMs.
And what does OEM stand for?
Original equipment manufacturers.
Okay, thank you very much for
So
clarifying that.
yeah, these are my customers are the guys that sell to Ford or GM or Whirlpool or Maytag or different manufacturers where the consumer's buying the good from them.
Okay. I know you mentioned that you were bred into this business here. Um, what has continued to, I guess, spark your journey to stay in this business?
So for the first 6 years, I wasn't sure. The company wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going anywhere, and do I want to do this? Do I not? Hem and haw. And then the Great Recession hit, and it was one of those turning points or crucible moments where you had to make a choice. And I decided I'm going to go all in, and this is going to be my business, and I'm going to grow it. And out of '09, we've been growing, I don't know, the last 15 years, about 15% compounded annually since then.
That's great.
So I got serious and dove deep into it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for how long has this business been in service overall? I know you
It
mentioned
was
it's
founded in 1960, and my father bought it in 1988 from the original, from two of the original partners of the three that had founded it. And he was one of the original partners was my mentor up until he retired at the company's 50th anniversary, 55th anniversary.
so
So
it's like almost 60 years, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And your website is weassemble4you.com,
yeah.
right?
Number four, letter U. We assemble for you. Because
Yeah.
that was what we did. That was our main focus was assembly. We've morphed a little into all different types of secondary services, but assembly is still our bread and butter and our specialty. And we build our own equipment to do the assembly work. So that's kind of one of our uniques is that and that's where our name Automation Systems got its legacy from. We used to build automation systems to sell. Now I only build them for our internal use and to push our growth forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have been running the business for so long now. So what are some misconceptions about running a business?
Um, it's easy. It gets easier. Neither one of those is ever true. It doesn't ever get any easier. Like children, little business, little problems, big business, big problems. I think one of the misconceptions is with more zeros, things get easier. They don't. Life is life. You have to just keep moving forward and keep pushing through the problems around you because there will always be problems coming at you. It's about determination and grit.
Mm-hmm. So the business is not easy. It seems like it's very hard. But how are you moving along through it? You seem still very happy with the business.
But all of us CEOs, we have what is that called? The imposter syndrome. We all look like we got it figured out, and in the background, it's oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? No business. I think it's about priorities, and getting to contentment, to knowing what you can do and what you don't want to do, and taking the time to, I think an important thing for business owners is to take the time to meet with other peers, because when you start your business journey, you are leaving a set of people behind. And maybe they were your high school friends, your college friends, but they're no longer thinking the same way you have to think to make things work. You see a different aspect. And as you continue to grow in your life in general, you're going to continue to do that. And you need to make these friends and these relationships around you to help stimulate you. And those are the people that help keep me going.
So more peer group of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I'm a part of Vistage, and that's been good for me. Other things that ground me are like I do a gratitude journal, try to do it in the morning and at night. I'm good in the morning, not so much at night because I'm a morning person. But I also, have my devotions, and I work out and do Orange Theory with my wife, which, love, hate with that sort of thing. But, it makes you feel better.
That's right. At the end of the hour.
Yeah. At the end of the hour, you wish you were dead, and then you get up and you go to your day, and you've already done something hard.
Right. Yep. So I know you mentioned some of the things that you're trying to, maintain your mental peace, etc. What other things would you recommend for maintaining a work-life balance as a business owner, or do you not have one?
There is no such thing as work-life balance, in my opinion. It's this wonderful myth that can lead you down a rabbit hole to no contentment. There is priorities in my mind, and what you make your priority, live with it. If the reality is, if at night at 10 o'clock, you have a choice. You can go to bed and prioritize sleep. You can flick through something on your phone and prioritize that, or you can read a book and prioritize learning. Or you can go back to work for a couple hours and prioritize work. It's all a choice, but be honest with yourself and be okay with what you're doing. Don't pretend, oh, I need that for work-life balance. No, you don't. I mean, if you want work-life balance, there's life and alive and push, and then you can sleep and rest when you're dead. There's balance. There's plenty of
Right.
time out there, but it's not in the short term. It's not in the here and now. It's not in the week.
Right. Could you offer like a glimpse into what does your future look like 1 to 3 years from now in terms of your business plans and business goals? What do you want to achieve?
Yeah, think I think in the next 1 to 3 years, our goal, really 1 to 5 is more where I think in that terms, is to do a couple more acquisitions. I see a lot of the baby boomer generation starting to look at retiring, leaving, and there's a lot of ownership roles that is not going to be filled. And so there's a great vacancy in that area. I think it takes a lot of commitment to do that. It's not I'm going to do one and call it a success, because one will not, you'll make so many mistakes, it won't be what you expect it to be. But if you're committed to doing acquisitions, I think, I'm going to do one every 2 years, every 3 years, and we're going to keep doing that as part of our growth plan, along with organic growth. We've been, like I said, for the last 15 years, a little over 15% annual growth. And I want to keep that going. I want to grow that, but I don't want to be the guy that grows myself into bankruptcy. I tried that once, not again. That was not a fun year in life. Because growth does kill a lot of businesses. People don't realize it, but high rapid growth is seen as this Inc. 500. We were on the list, Inc. 5000. I mean, we were on the list one year. And that little trophy in my office is a reminder of, be careful with what you ask for. That growth has a price. And so we wanted to maintain something a little bit more reasonable. But we do want to grow. We want to get better. We want to improve. And all of that is part of our next 1 to 3 years, improving our company culture. We have a great culture, I think, but it's not a stagnant thing. You don't get to a great culture and all of a sudden, hey, we're there, it stays there. It's a giant flywheel. You have to keep pushing on and prodding and touching up and making little successes too, add-ons too.
Yeah, so like in terms of obstacles to achieving your goals, is that what you see more the culture?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of change going on right now, and change breeds fear in people because the unknown is scarier than bad news.
Hmm.
And um, unless you're willing to open that conversation, talk about that with your team, and bring them into here's what I'm seeing. Could it be wrong? Sure, but we'll be flexible with it. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to turn. I mean, the AI revolution is, oh, we're going to lose our jobs. Probably not. We went through, mechanical or industrial revolution. We went through several different, the Enlightenment period, and all of these great things happened, and jobs are still here. People are still working the same jobs. No. Is it the same way we were before? No. Change is the one constant, right? You're just going to keep, and you have to bring the people along with you. And the people are, to me, that your employees, your people, your teammates are your greatest asset or can be your greatest liability.
Hmm.
And working on them, like we do training, we go to a 2-day conference every year for our management team and leadership where we just get nothing but speakers all the time. It's 2 days of speakers, and you come back like, oh my goodness, I'm overwhelmed, drank from the fire hose. But you come back inspired too. So it builds into the team, builds into your self-worth, your inspiration, and keeps you moving forward.
Yeah, that's great. I know you mentioned other things about, humans are not just humans, but they're bringing, home also to work,
Yeah,
right? Tell us a
it's
little bit more
so
about it.
happy to. Culture has been the big buzzword, and I think we're going to see it transform to community. I think that's a little bit more encompassing. And your employees, your people, your team, your community is not just your work life people or your home life. There's no real separation there. Goes back to this work life balance. There's no real separation. You are one person. We have to take care of you as that whole individual. We had an employee who asked for some days off, and we're like, well, sure, you can have days off, but you seem stressed out. What's going on? How can we help? What can we really help? And she goes, well, I need to get a divorce and go to domestic violence and get help and go through this. And because of that, we became more aware of domestic violence in the US and how it affects a full quarter of the population of women. And so now we run classes annually at our company to help open the door so they don't have to be as afraid to speak out about this horrible thing. Um, but that takes their personal life into their work life and their work life into their personal life. We have to be caring for all of them. It's the whole community. It's not just the corporate culture or their work-life balance. It's the whole individual. And I think that is going to become one of the greatest obstacles or differentiators between great businesses and good businesses over the next decade easily.
Yeah, I'm actually amazed, and I have not heard anything like this before, that you conduct, domestic violence classes in your company, and you're taking care of the person as a human. So, being a small business conducting this, I think this is a great effort, and there
Yeah,
are companies that should learn from you.
we partner with a company called Sarah's Inn, and they are phenomenal. And they come out and run the class for us. And anybody, we don't even know how many people have gone because if a person goes to them, they don't tell us unless the person okays it. But we know we've helped a few because a few have shared, and a few is more than enough. So I imagine that I know that it's been great, and I imagine that it's impacted more people than we know of.
Mhm. Yeah, at least you have opened the door for people to come and talk about things.
Yes.
So, yeah, I appreciate you taking care of people like us whole.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, in this whole changing landscape, right, the innovation is coming, AI is coming. How are you staying adaptable? I know you mentioned some things about doorknob. So, can you enlighten us a little bit more on that?
Yeah. So I was found an antique glass doorknob, and I have it in my car right now as a reminder to always keep the door open. Take the knob off, get rid of it. Don't lock things out. Be open to things. It doesn't mean you can't and shouldn't say no to a lot of stuff, but being open to it and just change and flexibility is a requirement. I mean, there's just so much good stuff happening in this country, and
Mhm.
even in Illinois, which, oh my goodness, we don't want to go political because Illinois is like, oof. I think one of the biggest search terms for all the different states, Illinois is corruption. That's the biggest term search in Illinois. So that's just, we can stop politics at that, and then go back to, but there's still opportunities everywhere. You work hard, you put in the effort, you put in the time, you make the mistakes, and you learn from them, and you just keep pushing, keep determination and grit. It goes far beyond anything than skill. It goes far beyond skill or pleasantries or niceness.
Mhm.
It's that I'm gonna.
That's great. You're staying open to change, adaptable, and innovation. So the last question I have for you, Carl, is what advice would you offer to the aspiring entrepreneurs or the ones who are facing challenges in their business?
Uh, Two things now that I'm really thinking it through. I think the first one is try a lot of new things, make a lot of mistakes. And then the second one piggytails on that, and that is one of my favorite quotes from John Maxwell. You can't underestimate the unimportance of nearly everything. Don't get overly worked up about stuff. Bad situations come and they go. They look like a mountain in front of you, but when you turn around, it's just an anthill. And that's the way of life. Hindsight's always 2020, and we get caught up with what's in front of us sometimes. So relax a little. I know it's your baby, it's your company, it's your business. Yes, and relax. It, it's okay. Not everything is as important as we think it is.
Yeah, things will get better with time, I assume. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, that's a great advice on the importance of everything. And
Yep.
all right, that's great. Thank you very much, Carl. I really appreciate your time today. It was great meeting you and learning more about your business and entrepreneurship. To everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you very much again.